Hi, this is Dana, and I hope you all had a beautiful vacation or at least celebration of Christmas for those who celebrated, or whatever type of celebration you decide to do at the end of the year. Um, for everyone, regardless of religion, now we are approaching a new year, so there is some sort of celebration happening. Now, in this video, God guided me to talk about twin flames, soulmates, basically man-woman relation. This is because in the last video I made, I approached on the matriarchat as an option for women. So God said, now you have to talk about this if you brought it up. Now, for me, in a video, the video is very short to touch upon all dimensions of this concept. I have wrote on my Facebook page a lot of prophetic writings about this, and each prophetic writing is tailored to the timing when I wrote it. It's very important you check when was published, because I published it at a specific time in my own spiritual journey when specific truth was revealed to me by God according to the situation at that particular time. Everything is volatile and changes. So you will see changes even in my own writing according to the timing when I wrote each piece, and where I was in my own journey. Now, but I would try to talk about it since God insists on me doing this. What I will say is that when you talk about man-woman relation, now everyone thinks of this in terms of the ideal concept of relation. Now it's a lot of confusion out there because you have to remember that we have lived our whole life um, in 3D, where we had certain perception about what a relationship between a man and a woman should look like. There wasn't just one definition. There were many definitions. There's conflict between concepts. There's conflict between humans, and about this topic. But the main point is, since some of us awakened, now there's a new narrative out there, which basically refers to the what God conceived of man and woman to be as a couple, what it means, what's the purpose of the union, what are the rights of the union, what and so on. So you have two different, entirely different dimensions. You have the 3D perceptions, which are many about how a couple should look like, and you have now, since recent years, a totally different narrative which talks about, okay, what is the 5D couple supposed to be and how we get there, right? What was God's definition of couple, and what how we transform what we knew so far into what we should. Okay. And here, of course, you talk about twin flame, you talk about soulmates, you talk about karmics, you talk about, there's so many different dimensions. Um, to me, everything is relative, simply because any type of relation, a twin flame, a soulmate, anyone can become karmic, either in previous lifetimes or in current lifetime, depending on the choices they made, depending on how much they allowed to be diverted from their purpose, right? We talk about bondages, hidden bondages. We talk about fake embodiments done through darkness. So you have repetitive individuals coming into your life, presenting themselves as a twin flame, and you learn that they're counterfeit. They are man-made copies, copycats of your twin flame. So basically, this is why I keep saying it's very volatile, because being a hidden knowledge, you learn about these things only as you do your spiritual fighting, and it starts being revealed to you. So any assumptions you would make in the beginning, they will prove to be wrong, and you will learn that the individual who you thought it's your twin flame, so it's a divinely guided union, it's in fact your enemy, and it's been your enemy in many lifetimes. And then to make it worse, some learned that, well, he was supposed to be a twin flame, but then he was diverted, and black magic was done on him, so he fell, and he now does black magic on you, and so on. So it's very complicated dimension to talk about the relationship between man and woman. Of course, everybody has free will and they can choose. But to me, to choose to be focused in this phase of our ascension on a relationship with a man or with a woman, regardless who you are, I think it's a dead end, because you can I mean, look at us. You can define a relationship with a man and a woman as a union only against a background, which should be clear. At this point in time, nothing is clear. The background is not clear. The relationship is not clear. You don't really know if you're enemies or if you're supposed to work together. Even if you're supposed to work together, you don't know if he's going to betray and become your enemy. It's or on the other side, he can be your enemy, but then he can do redemption, and God can upgrade him and become a more eligible match. So you don't really know any of this. So to me, it's like I'm very pragmatic person. I've done most of my life um, military analysis, defense decision making, and strategic planning. So I'm like, okay, let's look at this from a higher perspective. What are the chances that you make a right decision? Not really. Not really. At this point in time, not really. You cannot make a right decision until you finish breaking your bondages, because only then you'll know exactly who was who in your life. Your parents, your children, your siblings, your husband, your everybody can be an enemy, as it has been proven. At the least, it has been proven to me throughout my entire life of spiritual fighting. How would you make a decision now with the confidence that it will stick? And what confidence can you have in the other one, especially if the other one didn't do any bondage breaking? So he doesn't really even know who he is and why he's drawn to you. He can be drawn to you because of pure connection, divinely guided, but he can also be drawn to you by dark magic, or he can be drawn to you because a fake embodiment was done on him to be drawn to you. So he will pull you down, he will drag you down, and um, block you from advancing. Anything is possible at this point in time. Of course, this is why, in my personal view, and this is personal, of course, I think bondage breaking is the primary focus for this phase of ascension. I think any other choice that you make, it literally is just a gamble. And if you're willing to gamble, that's okay. I am not willing to gamble. I am on my way back home to God, and I will not allow anyone to divert me from my path. Um, so my first priority is bondage breaking, which comes together with healing and spiritual fighting. And you will meet different people on your path. And I believe that strategic patience should be pursued in each relation, absolutely each relation. The only exception I'm making to this rule is my dog, Lucky, because I know he's pure love. But otherwise, any human, um, I believe that has to be just basically looked upon with reservation, and with the belief that God and bondage breaking and spiritual fighting will reveal in time who's who and what they want. I have seen in my spiritual fighting things which I never imagined before. I have seen humans which are basically dead, literally. And I don't know how to explain this. I will talk in another video, but I don't know how to explain this very properly. Literally dead bodies, literally just dead bodies, and the different type of forces are using those bodies, but they have no soul, and the spirit is broken. It's being enslaved and used by that. They are doing idolatry, they are doing worshiping at the different forces. Those are not humans. And you meet that person, and if you don't do bondage breaking, you do not know. You look at them and you think they're humans, and you can build a relationship with them. I think that's wrong. I think 3D was temporary and is temporary. Hence, you cannot build a type of relation defined by 3D concepts because this is going to end. Hopefully, if you want to go home to God, I want to go home to God. So for me, 3D is temporary. I don't even believe in any other option. Um, I believe there is bondage breaking on the way, and I believe the only truth, will be on our way on our path, spiritual path, as we heal and break bondages and do the spiritual fighting, and we learn about who's who in this realm. Of course, um, as I said, anyone can do redemption, anyone can do a partnership with God, and they can become, right. I myself have done a partnership with God in my spiritual fighting and with Jesus, and I learned on my way and I became who I am because most of it was hidden from me. So I didn't know, even if I knew how to do certain things, I didn't know why I know those things. And obviously, the bondage breaking and spiritual fighting revealed all of this to me, and God revealed, you know this because you're supposed to do this, and this is why you came, and so on. So, uh, sure, you can do redemption. My question is, does anybody do redemption? Honestly, I think a number of us have to actually assume the spiritual fighting and bondage breaking. Many people put labels and they say, the chosen ones. They give all sort of labels: high priestess, empress, and so on. To me, it's like there's a certain number of people which came here, all souls with missions, very demanding missions, and only when those succeed in doing bondage breaking successfully, enough darkness will be transmuted from the earth so we can start seeing the truth, the divine truth. And at that point in time, everybody will be able to see the outer cosmos forces working through some of the individuals around us, which we believe they're human. I am here to tell you they are not human. They are just an empty shell body used by outer cosmos forces. And I believe it's a dramatic mistake to make, to commit yourself at this point in time to anyone if you're one of these old souls who have to transmute darkness and break bondages, and because you don't know, and unless you do the bondage breaking, you will not know. So personally, I do not advise. I don't know if this is God's guidance for everyone. God keeps silent as I'm speaking about this, and he just told me to talk about this topic. He didn't tell me to what to say. I'm pretty sure that God has his own plan for everyone, and I'm pretty sure that there are different paths to go. But since this is my channel and I am doing the advising, and since God didn't give me a specific approach to present to you, just he told me the topic, then this is the one I choose to present. I personally choose to focus on bondage breaking, on healing, and spiritual fighting, because I do not believe there is any chance at this point in time, under the certain the circumstances of the type of darkness intensity that we are facing in 3D, constant attacks, um, and a lot of confusion and deception and betrayals and unwillingness to assume responsibility. To me, this end of the situational karmic cycle, which took place now, it was an eye opener, and I did not expect that so many individuals will simply refuse to man up and pay the price for the wrongs they've done. I did not believe this. This is embarrassing for me as a woman to watch, honestly. I cannot accept the idea that they go continuously and do again dark magic attacks and all sorts of mirror magic, altar magic, and so many others, and sorcery and all sorts of attacks just to transfer their karma. And they simply refuse to do honest redemption with God. Simply refuse. Now, to understand redemption with God means a lot. There's a lot of work in each and every one of these concepts: bondage breaking, redemption, and repentance, and so on. There's a lot of work to put up in this. It doesn't happen like, out of the blue. And not, I haven't seen one single individual this past months that at least God didn't show me one single individual that is actually willing to do the work, just simply do the work. And of course, the more or the deeper you fell into darkness, the redemption is going to be harder, of course. Bondage breaking hasn't been easy even for those who decided to walk the straight line. It's been hell for us as well. So I can imagine that if you made wrong choices and you fell, it will be harder for you. But I haven't seen anyone honest in doing redemption. So for this reason, I don't see any hope. God always can change things. I have seen God doing the most spectacular miracles. He can always embody into somebody if that person raises up to certain level. He can do through divine grace amazing healings in 1 second, miracles really. um, but of course, you to receive divine grace there are certain conditions. You must either do a good deed, you must go give for charity, you must go help truly somebody in a significant way, not just something that is convenient to you. And you must do good for humankind, like you through that gesture you must do good for many people. Many people should benefit of it. And there are so many other conditions under which you can receive divine grace. But you have to do something to receive divine grace. This is divine grace is a huge help in for everyone. Divine grace doesn't go with redemption only. Divine grace goes, I with everything I wrote on my Facebook. I received divine grace for my prophetic writings that I did on Facebook. Okay, because God, I think I already made a video on this. God said that I would make this as an income. I couldn't, because of course imbeciles from darkness keep attacking me and stealing my identity, stealing my work, and blocking me to transform this into a profession, uh, sort of like constant activity. So then I still chose to do it. And then God said, you will receive your money, I will make justice to you, but until I do that, I will bless you with divine grace for each and every writing you do, because you chose to give knowledge which only you have, and you chose to do so to help others. So I gave you this example only so you can understand there are many ways in which you can receive divine grace, but you have to do something for this. But I don't see any of those people that are facing karma at this point in time and punishment from God. I don't see them doing this. That's the point. That's exactly what I'm saying. So, since we are in this phase of the ascension, personally, I do not. I will make further videos in which I will explain different knowledge that I have about different concepts of union between man and woman. I mean, knowledge which God bestowed upon me through my spiritual fighting. But since God told me now to talk about this topic in one video, then this is what my first take on this is, namely that there is, at this point in time, there's still too much work to do, and there's still too much deception everywhere in each individual. And you I don't believe at this point in time that you can talk about a pure union. I believe again that we all have to focus on spiritual fighting, on healing and bondage breaking, in order to reach the point where you can enough darkness has been transmuted so we can see the truth about each other. Now you have to understand there are those who don't want this to happen, and these are the jerks who keep attacking me, for example, who keep attacking everybody else. So yeah, Of course, they don't want this to be achieved, as because then they would be exposed. So yeah, but to sum up, because the video is already too long, to sum up about twin flame, soulmates, and any type of relation, basically, at this point in time, to me, it seems that things are way too volatile still, and not enough people have been fighting, not enough people have been breaking bondages, and not enough people have been healing. So we can actually talk about decent union. Um, I still believe that matriarchat is the best way to go for women, so you can be able to fight for yourself. And as a woman, I think you should always be concerned about that you can or should be a mother. So look around you, and you think that your child will come into the world you leave behind you. Okay. I said in one video before, I actually said to God, I will never, never make a child to bring into this world. If you want me to make a child truly, then change this world, and I will do my best possible to change it. But this is not a world that deserves my child to be brought here. And I do carry on my fight with the hope that my son, whenever, if ever, will come on earth, he will face a totally different reality. And I do believe that everything I do is something like a gift for him, which I hope to become an inheritance. So I still believe in matriarchat and focus on your purpose as a woman, as a mother, um, but not so much on a union which could jeopardize everything else that you should be, and could block all your path uh, to where you should walk, so you can meet God. So I'm not sure that this is what everybody wants to hear. I'm not sure that this is what God wanted me to hear. God keeps quiet. He just told me to talk about it. He doesn't give me any signs. So I'm just gonna wrap up here the video, and I just will follow this with different videos to share the divine knowledge which God gave me about different type of unions and so on. So people that do not share my opinion would still have options and will still benefit of guidance from God, even if personally I chose a different path. And I will close it up now. I'll ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you liked my message. So we'll make sure that many people get to receive this, as this might be a path for salvation for some people. Thank you.